people move, I think, across the world and start a new life and a career, it's a very brave move for you. But it seems like you've got a lot of inspiration from your family, you were telling me, and a lot of support from them. So that's all on the podcast. You have to listen to the podcast, which goes live on January the 28th. So that'll be episode 2 of season 3. But I want to very quickly just talk about the artists whose work you admired, because you've got a tremendous selection of painters and ceramicists and jewelers, and there's a whole group of women whose names you gave me of the women that you admire in visual arts. Tell me a little bit about that inspiration.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me again. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I've always taken inspiration, or I've always admired creativity in all shapes or forms. So I've always been drawn to a wide variety of visual subjects. So that's why my list is so diverse. I I love the work. I've been absolutely crazy about the work of Elizabeth Waggett, and she does beautiful pencil drawings and gold leaf. She's known for that, and they're just incredibly delicate but also precise. They're mesmerizing to watch. And Kit King, she's an amazing painter. She works a lot with visual illusions, I would say, an optical illusion. That's been amazing. CJ Hendry, she's an incredible hyperrealist artist, and it she really she's so important, like I would say, to the hyperrealistic culture, because I think she really paved the way for a lot of artists to put hyperrealist on the map today the way it is, because it's always been a little bit of a style that has not been taken as serious, and she has managed to take that to a whole other level. She's definitely incredible to watch. And then we have artists like Heather Knight. You've had her on your podcast. She's a
Yep.
ceramist. She's absolutely incredible. I've been fascinated with her work for quite a long time. And Gabby Warman, she is someone that inspired me to draw watches. And it's incredible to see her work because she takes insects and gilds them in combination with mechanical gears and aspects from a watch. And it's
Wow.
quite fascinating to see. And what was so striking to me was seeing her work in person. Is one, I am absolutely terrified of insects. I have this huge phobia of insects. And yet she made them, I guess because she turned them into something that was mechanical,
Hmm.
into such an incredible detail. And seeing her work in person, it was not something that I thought I would enjoy. Insects, I usually stay away, but it's mesmerizing to watch her work. Let's see who else. Carla Grace, she's a wildlife painter.
Yep.
She's incredible. She's from Australia, I
Hmm.
believe. And let's see,
And then
Lauren Williams.
Lauren Williams, yes, a textile
She's
artist.
a textile artist. She does these incredible, I want to call them textile paintings, sculptures. They have this sense of movement to them
Hmm.
that it's quite incredible to see. One of my favorite jewelry artists, designers is Konzuk. She's an artist from Vancouver in Canada. And I first saw her pieces and I bought some of her pieces at an interior design show because her pieces are so inspired by architecture and architectural forms. So she marries those things together so beautifully. So I do own quite a few of her pieces that I really enjoy. So she's always a great source of inspiration into taking two different fields and merging them together. Let's see, who
Well,
else
it's
did I miss?
it's a fabulous list, and we will, of course, put it in the show notes, and you'll be able to look up these other visual artist yourself, because one of the things we like to do on the show is elevate other women. You know, that by
Mhm.
you giving me your list of women whose work you admire, some of them may come on the show. As you mentioned,
Yes.
Heather Nice has already been a guest. She was on season 2, episode 48, a wonderful ceramicist. And I think like this, you know, we give a leg up to other women and increase their exposure. Obviously, that's part of our mission here is to elevate women in the visual arts. So thank you for sharing your
No,
lists.
absolutely. And I really enjoy discovering new artists as well, as I mentioned before, but it's also there's so much talent out there. And I
Yes.
feel like especially now with social media, I mean there's always good and bad parts about social media, but if there is
Hmm.
one thing that we can take that is phenomenal about it, is
Yep.
this exposure and discovering new artists that we've never had the opportunity to do before.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it's I'm always looking forward to kind of discover artists, even artists that are complete in a completely different realm
Feel.
of medium than I am,
Yep.
and seeing how they approach their visual journey and their business, and it's quite fascinating. So thank you for doing that with the podcast and
Well, you're
shining
welcome.
light on other artists.
Well, thank you for being a guest and sharing your story with us again. That's on season 3, episode 2, which will be out on January the 28th. So be sure to go over to any podcast app and you'll find Art. Just look for Art with 2 A's, don't forget. Art, the podcast about women in visual arts. And we can find you on social media, of course, right across social media. So tell everybody, Sinziana, where they can find you.
On Instagram, my handle is Sinziana Iordache, and I know that can be a little bit of a mouthful and also spelling wise. So just look it up. It's my first and last name together. And it's been primarily Instagram, but Facebook and forgotten TikTok account, they all have the same handle. But Instagram is the place to find me.
And your website?
My website is sinzianaiordache.com.
Easy enough. All right. And we, of course, are the Art Podcast on Instagram and here on YouTube as well. So be sure to follow us and share with anybody you think might enjoy the show. So thank you to my guest this week, Sinziana Iordache. I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. Stay warm up there in Toronto
Thank you so
and
much. You as well.
and the very best of luck for 2025 with all your new adventures and experiments.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you,
as well.
Sinziana. Thank you.
Thank you.